Posted by you/Shadow in the Glass. 2 hours ago, I'm not sure where to start, so I'll just dive in. I'm 28, and 3 months ago, I inherited my grandmother's house in a tiny town called Blackthorn Hollow. I'd never been here before. Grandma wasn't exactly the warm, cookie-baking type. She was secretive, always talking in riddles when I saw her as a kid. When she passed, I was surprised she left me anything, let alone a whole house. I'd been stuck in a dead-end job, so I figured, why not? Fresh start, right? I packed up my life and moved in. The house is old, creaky, and smells like dust and lavender. It's got this weird charm: stained glass windows, clawfoot tubs, and mirrors. So many mirrors. Every room has at least one, some framed in ornate silver, others plain but heavy like they're bolted to the walls. I thought it was quirky at first. Grandma was eccentric, so it fit. But now, I don't know what to think. I'm scared to sleep tonight, and I need to get this out. Maybe someone here can help me make sense of it. The first weird thing happened a week after I moved in. I was unpacking late at night when the lights flickered. Not a quick blink, but a slow, pulsing dim like the house was breathing. I checked the fuse box. Nothing was tripped. I brushed it off as old wiring. Small towns, old houses, you know? But it kept happening. Always at night. Always when I was alone. Then came the whispers. I'd be in bed, scrolling my phone when I'd hear it. Soft, like someone murmuring in another room. I could never make out words, just a low hum of voices. I tore the house apart, looking for a source. Vents, pipes, maybe a radio left on? Nothing. The first time I mentioned it to a neighbor, Mrs. Calloway, she gave me this weird look and said, "Old houses talk, dear. Best not to listen." I laughed it off, but her eyes weren't joking. The mirrors, though, that's when I knew something was wrong. I was brushing my teeth one night, staring at my reflection, when it lagged. I tilted my head left, but my reflection stayed still for a split second before catching up. I froze, toothbrush dripping foam onto the sink. I waved my hand slowly, and my reflection followed. But it felt off, like it was mimicking me a beat too late. I told myself I was tired, maybe stressed from the move. But it happened again a few nights later in the hallway mirror. I raised my arm, and my reflection didn't. It just stared at me, smiling faintly, while my real face was wide-eyed and terrified. I stumbled back, and the reflection snapped back to normal, copying me perfectly. I stopped looking in mirrors after that. I covered them with sheets, towels, whatever I could find. But the flickering lights got worse, and the whispers grew louder, more insistent. I started feeling watched, even in rooms without mirrors. I'd catch glimpses of movement in my peripheral vision, shadows that vanished when I turned. My dreams were the worst. I'd see myself standing in front of a mirror, but it wasn't me inside it. It was something else, wearing my face, pressing its hands against the glass, trying to get out. Last week, I found Grandma's journal in the attic, hidden under a floorboard. It was leather-bound, pages yellowed, and smelling of ink and wax. I sat on the attic floor, reading by flashlight, and my stomach twisted with every word. Grandma wasn't just eccentric. She was part of something called the Order of the Veil, a group of women in Blackthorn Hollow who used mirrors to trap spirits. Not just any spirits, but the kind that linger too long, hunger too much, as she wrote. The mirrors in the house weren't decor. They were seals, each one holding something caught by the order. Grandma's entries were meticulous, listing dates, rituals, and warnings. Never break a mirror. Never speak their names. Never let them see you falter. I should have stopped reading. I should have packed a bag and left. But I needed to know. One entry mentioned a spirit called the Hollowed One, trapped in the largest mirror in the dining room. Grandma described it as a thief of faces, a weaver of lies. She wrote that it was stronger than the others, always testing its bonds. The last entry, dated a week before she died, said, "It knows I'm weakening. It sings to me at night. I fear I've failed." I went downstairs, heart pounding, and stood in front of the dining room mirror. It's massive, floor to ceiling, framed in silver that looks like twisted vines. I'd covered it with a sheet, but I pulled it down, staring at my reflection. It looked normal at first, but the longer I stood there, the more I felt it, something pressing against the glass from the other side. My reflection's eyes seemed darker, its smile too wide. I whispered, "What are you?" like an idiot, and the lights flickered hard, plunging the room into darkness. When they came back on, my reflection was gone. The mirror showed the dining room behind me, but I wasn't in it. I screamed and ran, locking myself in my bedroom.